that's safe and strong and prosperous. We now have a country that's bigger, better, greater than ever before. I want to thank all my secretaries and all of the people that came here. Our military leaders are here. We have a lot of people that are here, and I want to thank you all. But this is a very special group of people. So happy Black History Month, happy Black History Year, and happy Black History Century. Thank you all. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody.
All right, big event. President Trump in the East Room celebrating Black History Month. He welcomed a number of people on the stage, including Leo Terrell and Dr. Ben Carson, and a number of people who have benefited from the small business programs and the education programs. So a very big turnout in the East Room this afternoon as we celebrate Black History Month. And that is the story for today. We'll see you back here tomorrow. I'm going to show you my top.
And I taught the first Black History course in a public school in the Commonwealth of Kentucky in 1969 at Jessamine County High School, and then came back up and taught it at Erlanger Lloyd High School in 1970, and was elected president of the Education Association in Erlanger and Ellesmere by the teachers of Erlanger and Ellesmere Lloyd High School.
An update after a massive avalanche roared through the backcountry of California.
Home now from the hospital.
And the search is still
back to Dr.
One skier who is unaccounted
tomorrow. Dr. Allen, gastroenterologist, to see whether the pee thing can be taken out, the bag. But we don't know what they'll do yet. Another kidney stone.
Due to the ongoing challenges,
2 bones broken still in the back.
Conditions,
Healing
remains ongoing,
best they can.
as well as our search for the remaining skier. But the weather is a factor.
The avalanche hit yesterday near Castle Peak, a 9,100-foot summit about 10 miles north of Lake Tahoe. 15 people were caught in the snow, 11 skiers and 4 professional guides. Now, 6 survivors were rescued last night, but dozens of responders are still battling whiteout conditions. An avalanche warning is still in effect as crews try to find the 1 skier still unaccounted for. So let's go to Fox News senior correspondent Claudia Cowan, live in Sausalito, California. Claudia.
Well, just a tragic end to the search for these 9 skiers in the backcountry near Lake Tahoe, making this the deadliest avalanche in modern California history. The group of 15 skiers, 4 guides and 11 of their clients, finishing up a 3-day winter camping trip in Castle Peak. That's a popular backcountry ski area near the city of Truckee in Lake Tahoe. An avalanche warning was in effect at the time with heavy snow and gale force winds.
The bodies that were recovered fairly close together. It was reported by the individuals that survived that they were attempting to go out as a group, that someone saw the avalanche, yelled avalanche, and then it overtook them rather quickly.
It took hours for some 50 rescuers to get to a group of 6 that managed to survive the avalanche that was described as the length of a football field. They dug their way out and were able to send text messages with their emergency beacons and call for help. Those who survived ranged in age from 30 to 55. 2 were not able to walk out, but they are expected to be okay. 8 bodies have now been located, and as the search continues for the 9th victim, law enforcement is asking people to stay out of the mountains.
Please avoid the Sierras during this current storm and in the upcoming days. Avoid mountain travel. It's treacherous. Avoid the backcountry. Please allow us to focus all of our resources on continuing to recover these bodies for the family and bring them home.
Of the 9 dead, 7 are women, 2 are men. They have not yet been publicly identified, but we understand one of the victims is the spouse of a member of the Tahoe Search and Rescue team. Will?
Terrible. Thank you, Claudia Cowan.
Just sad.
Now to another Fox News alert. The search for Nancy Guthrie going international. A source tells Fox News Digital the FBI has reached out to authorities in Mexico.
I watched this whole thing while I was in the hospital.
18th day.
It's
Something
sad.
TMZ reported today as
Sad.
well is the addition.
I wish somebody who'd done this or was part of it would speak up and give their life to the Lord and turn themselves in and ask for mercy.
Involving a form of crypto, not Bitcoin. Now, it is demanding roughly the same amount as the demand letter we received, shortly after the kidnapping, the $6 million demand. It also involves the media, saying that the media essentially becomes a go-between, a trigger, if you will, for getting this ransom money. We have been asked not to be specific about any of that beyond what we've just said.
Something else that caught our attention from Fox Digital this afternoon. Google Trends show that an internet user appears to have searched for Nancy Guthrie's home address in the weeks prior to her disappearance. Once by someone in Arizona in June of 2025, and once again in January and on January 11th. A date that was also of interest to investigators originally when they asked Ring camera users for video from that day, January 11th. Other related searches within the last year included images or a map of Nancy's home and a search for Savannah Guthrie's salary back in December. Now, Fox News correspondent Matt Finn is outside Nancy Guthrie's home. Matt, what are you hearing?
Well, there was no DNA hit on that glove of interest, but of course that DNA in the glove could come into play in the future. But for now, the sheriff says the DNA from inside the house is going to be critical as well.
We have DNA from that scene that is a mixture of DNAs. So we have to separate out the lab can do that and still preserve some of that evidence in case the defense wants to test it should we make an arrest.
The sheriff's office says it will be using other options aside from CODIS, including genealogy databases. Here in Pima County, the sheriff's department writing, investigators are currently looking into additional investigative genetic genealogy options for DNA evidence to check for matches. CODIS is one option of many databases that are available. Now today, Fox News talked to the CEO of Otrim, who says they have many more factors than CODIS and very wide-ranging tests. We don't know for sure that Otrim will be involved, but they did help ID Brian Koberger. Here is the CEO.
So the CODIS system will catalog 20 markers from people, and generally the people in that database have been convicted of a crime. The kind of testing that we do at Otrim looks at the entire DNA. There's probably at least 500,000 markers that we're looking at instead of 20 markers.
And the sheriff has said that there will be follow-up investigations at Nancy Guthrie's home behind me. Yesterday we saw, some activity in the property and what may have been some investigators at a neighbor's house as well. We'll keep you updated from on the ground here, Will.
Matt, any information on the TMZ reported ransom notes? It would seem that those ransom notes, in whatever form they arrive, would have clues. You could track down the sender of those emails, and that might be something to take seriously.
Yeah, well, Harvey Levin has said that the sender took seriously blocking the email address and identifying themselves in those emails. My impression is that if those ransom notes were verified as real, that they likely would have been paid. You heard Savannah Guthrie say we are willing to pay, but that apparently never happened. So we never have been able to confirm whether those notes are real, Will.
All right. And now the search, apparently, at least in part, moves to Mexico. Thank you, Matt Finn. All right, before we go today, let's check in on the markets. All three major indexes today closing in the green. Ahead, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg takes the stand in the landmark social media addiction trial. I speak with a mother who lost her son to suicide in 2016 and has been advocating for online child safety. Next.
I wish we could get this child safety in. It's a shame that they do these things and don't even make
almost as much
their
as we do.
products and their sensitive to anybody who's a minor and not be able to use this equipment and damage their entire lives, minds. I tell you, it's shameful. Do it right. If you're going to do it right. Do it with godly principles and love and protections for the minors, the country, the world.
Today, everyone everyone knows the jacuzzi brand, but did you know they can install a...
Speaking at a Black History Month event at the White House moments ago, the president opening the reception by honoring the late civil rights icon, the Reverend Jesse Jackson, who passed away yesterday at the age of 84. He then went on to honor black leaders from Frederick Douglass to Martin Luther King Jr. He even talked about his great relationship with Nicki Minaj and the respect he has for Nicki.
Thank God for the strength and courage and grit and devotion of black Americans who have helped make America the most powerful country in the history of the world. I love Nicki Minaj. She was here a couple of weeks ago. She's so beautiful. Her skin's so beautiful. I said, Nicki is so beautiful. Her nails are like that long. I said, Nicki, are they real? She said, she didn't want to get into that. But she was so beautiful and so great.
I fell in love with this man, with his heart, with his heart for this country, with his heart to really bring America back to the form of greatness that it deserved. This president right here, President Donald Trump, brought me from the prison pit to the White House. Only in America could there be a story like my story.
Amen.
Her skin's so beautiful, her nails so long, she didn't want to get into that. One of a kind. That president. Bringing up more guests to speak at the event, including a grandmother who named Felicia Cook, who tragically lost her grandson to violence in 2017, and Felicia did not hold back.
We marched and we rallied, and nobody heard me, Democrats, get mad at me. Until this Republic sent his constituents, his people out there to interview me at my home. Have you ever heard of me? Then they invited me twice before Congress to testify for the beautiful bill that's going to change crime in the district. If you kill somebody, okay, you take a life, you do life. Just that simple. If you do a harsh crime, you do harsh crime. Just that simple. And if we need National Guard, which we did years ago, he brought it on. I love him. I don't want to hear nothing you got to say about their racist stuff. And don't be looking at me on the news hating on me because I'm standing up for somebody that deserves to be standing up.
What an event. One of one. Now to a Fox News alert. Is social media legally responsible for fueling a teen mental health crisis? That's the central question in the unprecedented big tech trial underway in California. The plaintiff, a now 20-year-old woman, identified by the initials KGM, claims her early use of social media addicted her to the technology and exacerbated her depression and suicidal thoughts. Allegations that Meta says it strongly disagrees with. Today, we heard from Mark Zuckerberg himself on the stand. Now, it's the first time he's faced a jury on the issue, but it's not the first time he's faced bereaved parents. Back in 2024, he appeared before Congress and issued his own apology.
First, through the things that your families have suffered, and this is why we invested so much and are going to continue doing these training efforts to make sure that no one has to go through the types of things that your families have had to suffer.
Today, the plaintiff's attorney pressed Zuckerberg on the age requirements for Meta platforms, saying the plaintiff was 9 years old when she signed up for Instagram. Zuckerberg replied that 13 was always the age required in the terms when signing up, to which the attorney replied, "You expect a 9-year-old to read the terms and conditions?" Another key moment when the attorney referenced an email from 2016 in which Zuckerberg identified a goal of increasing time spent on his platforms by 12%. Now, Zuckerberg responded that priorities have changed and that time spent on a platform was a reflection of how valuable it was. Meta says evidence will show the company has a long-standing commitment to supporting young people. In opening statements last week, Meta's attorney pointed to other factors at play in the plaintiff's mental health struggles, summarized in part saying, the company is not disputing that KGM experienced mental health struggles, but rather that Instagram played a substantial factor in those struggles. He pointed to medical records that showed a turbulent home life. And both he and an attorney representing YouTube argue she turned to their platforms as a coping mechanism or as a means of escaping her mental health struggles. But unearthed internal messages from researchers at Meta tell a different story, that there was concern. Here's an excerpt of some of the emails inside of Meta with employees saying things like, "Oh my gosh, y'all, IG is a drug.
Okay, I'm really going down
LOL, I mean all social media.
Okay, love ya.
Pushers. Seriously, it is. We are causing reward deficit disorder because people are binging on IG so much they can't feel reward anymore. Like their reward tolerance
Peekaboo.
is so high. I
Peekaboo.
would imagine everyone watching.
Peekaboo. Daddy's home. Daddy's home, peekaboo.
From Maps to Robert Duvall clips to Douglas Murray. It's a vulnerable moment for me, sharing that with you, showing you my Instagram. But it's how we all live now, and there's a lot at stake for these tech companies. There's 1,600 other social media addiction cases pending, consolidated from parents and school districts. Now, my next guest was one of the parents that Zuckerberg apologized to back in 2024. She lost her 16-year-old son, David, to suicide in 2016 after what the family said was months of harassment on social media. Maureen Molak joins me now. Maureen, thanks for being with us here today. Although I'm sure you've heard it many times over the past 10 years, I'll be remiss if I didn't start with, I'm so sorry. I have teenage boys. I can't imagine your pain. I'm so sorry.
Thank you, Will. It's great to be here.
Maureen, with what you've been through, what your family's been through, what your son went through before he took his own life, do you blame social media?
I absolutely do. You know, David grew up in a conservative Christian home. We went to church on Sunday. He was an Eagle Scout and a great basketball player. And it wasn't until he had a serious basketball injury that he turned to social media and online gaming to fill that social void. And over a period of time, we started to see a real change in his behavior. He was showing all of the signs of an addiction. And even after he was medically cleared to go back and play basketball, he no longer had the desire to. He preferred to sit behind a screen. And that's when we knew we were up against something that we had never dealt with my older two boys.
Let me just ask you, because I can only imagine everybody is wondering, certainly I am, again, with two teenage boys, what were those signs that you saw that resembled or reflected addiction in his use of social media?
Well, when we knew it was really serious was when David started lying about completing his homework. He was sneaking around using his devices when they were supposed to be locked up down in the kitchen. He would get angry and aggressive when we would try to get him to stop using the devices. And then there towards the end, he started stealing from us in order to purchase virtual assets to increase his player power through some of these gaming platforms. It was nothing more than just a nightmare in our home.
Wow, I'm sorry. That is
sad.
I'm so sorry. That is terrible.
And how that
here we have these cases
companies
today
can
now where people
do this sort of thing and allow it to happen, and how the government stands by and has done nothing to stop it. It's terrible.
There's an argument that's to be had in the law of what percentage of someone's troubles and someone's actions is attributable to social media. In the case that we just heard about, there is an argument made from those social media platforms that there were pre-existing mental health issues. I know in your son's case he was dealing with some bullying online. And then there is the culpability, perhaps, in whatever percentage of the addictive nature of social media. I would imagine at some point, Maureen, a jury is going to be asked to give percentages of blame to those various contributing factors. I'm curious, as I go back to the beginning now with you, you dealt with all of those factors. What percentage do you give to the addictive nature of social media?
Well, first of all, let me just clarify that David's cyberbullying didn't start until after he was already addicted to social media. What we know is that kids who are addicted have a much larger chance of experiencing additional online harms. I've been working with many parents over the last several years, and all of our stories are the same. It all gets rooted back to the addictive nature of these platforms. And they're modeled goal, which is engagement. And we know that they're doing this, and the evidence is going to come out. I believe we're going to see a lot more evidence this week that's going to show their internal documents. You just showed some of them earlier, but we're going to see more that's going to prove not only internal communications through email, but also their own research that
Goes all the way back to when I first wrote my story about Mr. TV coming into the home
Were you sitting on that jury
and what it did to the homes.
We're not hearing all the evidence that's presented in court.
Now we got
But
cell
as an attorney,
phones
I do know that will also be the question that's
you
presented
can't
to the
hardly
jury.
hide
How
from
much do you
the
assign weight to
pornography
various
that's
factors?
there.
If you were sitting on that jury, do I hear you
Say it.
saying 100%?
I absolutely do. I absolutely believe that these platforms are responsible for the mental health issues that our young people are facing right now.
No doubt in my mind about it.
And we're sorry again for how it's affected you and your son and your family. Maureen, thanks for sharing that story with us here today.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Will.
Said.
Okay. Ahead, does Maryland Governor Wes Moore have a credibility problem? Does he have a truth problem? Does he have a lying problem? That wouldn't make him unique among politicians, but it's getting out of control. There's so many lies piling up about his own story. Next.
Go to church. Take the time for prayer. The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh. Love your life and what you've been given. It is not accidental. Search for your purpose and do it as best as you can. Forgive. It frees the soul. Recognize the special people you've been blessed to know. Live for today. Enjoy the moment.
Expert installation.
There's a chair waiting for you at Oak Ridge Baptist Church. Come on out Sunday.
What's going on? Hey, Joe,
Come
we're
to church.
New replacement
Sunday
windows
night.
installed.
Wednesday night.
By Anderson.
It's a great church. There's a church on every corner. There's a chair waiting for you on every
This is my
corner.
neighbor Joe.
My old friend said,
Providing our homeowners
bless his
expert
heart.
installation, that's our top priority. We never rush. Details like
There's a
perfectly
church
matching
waiting
your
for
window
you.
trim
Bethesda
style
Community
matter to
Church,
us. We always clean up
Hickory Grove
thoroughly
Baptist
afterwards.
Church,
Then, when the job is done,
San
we'll walk you
Henry's,
through a product demonstration and answer any questions you might have. The one thing we
San
always like to
Cecilia,
remind our homeowners is that when you go
Independence.
with Renewal by Anderson, installation is always included.
Go to church.
Installation is included. Heck, I
Read
paid
your
a pretty
Bible.
penny for installation, and that was
Remember
on top of the
what
price
Billy
of the
Graham
windows
taught me.
themselves.
It's the Holy Spirit's job to convict, God's job to judge.
On budget.
My job is to love,
What you should expect
and
from
I
the
love you all.
industry
Well,
And
I've
so
been
did my
watching your
little
team
sister
install
Judy,
windows,
and
I
my
have to
sister
say,
Mary
they really know their stuff.
That's because our
and the
certified
families.
master installers are highly trained when it comes to industry-leading warranty.
Nice to be home to the bed. Praise the Lord.
February 28th,
Miss June's down doing
$100 on
all the
every
laundry she has to do.
$850 on
Take
every
wash everything.
door and save
Clean it up.
$850 on every
The cats
entry
are
door.
doing fine.
And our financing
Peekaboo
can
and
help make this
Josie, they've
project
been
more
walking
affordable.
by and
With no
saying
monthly-
hello.
No monthly payments.
They're
and
doing
no
fine.
interest for 12 months.
I'll
This
be
offer ends
a little
February
nervous
28th.
about tomorrow going to see Dr.
1-800-704-4200.
the gastroenterologist about what he's going to recommend or not. So keep us in your prayers if you would. I'm home. 859-750-0000. Thank you for all the people that helped me at St. Elizabeth Hospital and at Encompass Hospital Rehabilitation Center. Hope you enjoyed the videos I did and the conversations I had. But we're home. Look forward to seeing the neighbors and Joel and Robin, talking to Gil and Jan, talking to Eddie Smallwood down in Florida. Great talking to Richard Peoples, the Simon Kenton graduate class of 1961. Going to try to call some more people here, so I'm shutting down video. Hope you enjoyed the little shows I put together. God bless you all.